because we shouldn't forget dragons. Okay, he actually backs up against the wall, looking at you shocked. Like, between the damage he just suffered and being charged by a dragon, he's not sure what to do. That is their turn. Cole?
All right. He's probably going to take majority of his time to go here, and he's. Wait, no. Shit, that hasn't happened yet.
No, yeah, there's no acid breath. Yeah, I know.
That's. Um.
I can do that next turn.
Futz. All right.
Yeah.
What he's going to do is take his time to move here to shit. No, he's just going to move here. That's it. That'll be his turn. Nothing else. That'll end his turn.
All right. Give me 1 second. Kip, who is no reason not to be involved in this, is actually taking off Keen's backpack and throwing it at the guy that is pushed off against the wall. He doesn't know how to fight as a human.
I taught him how to shoot a bow.
Not in 2 days.
He's two.
Since I gave up my turn, can I try to catch that?
You can. Sure.
Like an opposed tack roll?
I guess, but he rolled a 28. He really flung that thing. Yeah, I tell you what.
Give it a shot.
You know what? Actually, let's do it this way, because this is less an attack roll, more a skill check. Do your throwing things, background plus your level plus your dexterity. We'll do yeah. I was gonna go for a 20. It kind of it goes through your arms before you can react.
Okay.
It hits the guy right in the face. What kind of damage does a backpack do? I'm going to say that's like 4d.
Like 1d4?
Yeah, well, yes. I'll do 1d6. He's got some strength on him. Because it's Keen. So we'll do that. Does 3 points of damage right to his face. He's just hit up against the wall. Luckily your backpack was closed, so it just thumps to the ground. With some blood on it.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
So that's Kip's turn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Escalation die goes up to 1. It's Jarek's turn.
All right.
Cole, untie the princess. We have to get this man bound. Let's see here. No, I think I'm pretty good. Let's go ahead and exert Jarek's will. There are 2 enemies, and this guy backing up, that's just him exposing his fear. Fucking chicken shit. He's not worthy of being captain of the guard. Useless twat. Go ahead and exercise Virmal's will, forcing the 2 enemies to trade spaces for 42 points of damage each.
This one.
Dead.
Oh.
Is this guy 20 hit points or under by chance?
Yes.
I know he took some damage from me.
Is.
Good. So after he's trying to recover from the whole fact that he just got teleported, Jarek will stand up, cork his head, kneel.
Blap.
And those hit points can go to the princess.
Okay.
You know, that makes sense that he would be the regent because he keeps wanting people to kneel.
Oh, God.
And I'm sorry, Inferno, if you wanted to do something. I just thought finishing this up would be fine.
No, I don't care. It's all good.
All right. Making sure.
It's
Don't want you to
resolved.
don't you kill me later.
No, I would never.
Well,
No, okay.
you also managed to take them out before they talked, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Kip, get my belongings, please.
Kip
Well,
goes and grabs the backpack.
Thank you. As I go bleh, and acid in a hole
All right.
Here, I'll just. Bleh.
Yeah, the acid
Alright.
starts burning through the wood very quickly.
Since Cole was supposed to busy with the amulet, Pearson, could you help untie the princess?
Sure. Yeah, of course. Pearson's going to do that. As he scoots by, he's going to pick up that gnomish sleep wine and put it away. That's going to be handy. I'm writing that down. Gnomish sleep wine.
You are starting to hear outside, I heard commotion. Prince?
Let's see if I can do this. Ghost sound.
Untying.
Everything is fine in here, just having fun with this bitch. It's like the sounds of a smack.
Nice.
Wow. You hear, yes, my lord. Sorry, my lord. Oh my god.
Pearson's going to go to, as he's untying the princess, he's going to say, scream as like you're in pain right now.
She does. She screams like she's in pain. She covers Delilah's ears before she does it, but then she does.
Yeah.
Oh my
Perfect.
god, we're horrible, terrible people.
No, we're not. We're geniuses. Let's continue.
Jarek is thankful that he learned these bad words from Pearson and Finn.
Oh my god, this is working way too well. What the hell?
All right.
Yeah.
Jarek will continue the fucking like sounds like ghost sound, like the sounds of like stomping and like slamming like stuff.
You killed the people in the building. You convinced the people outside what's going on. I don't see anyone disturbing you before you guys are able to get away.
Sweet.
Yeah, I had other things planned if they yelled out, but a failed morale check and chicken in the face. And Neil.
Great thought there, Ferno. I liked it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you guys
show 'em
make it
up.
to the Underdark.
Sweet. There was a little Underdark.
By the way,
We just need to find a place to park.
I should
All
also
right.
mention, just for the sake of being consistent, when Pearson said, "I got this one," he felt a static shock.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ouch. Ow.
Oh.
Poop.
All right. So,
Pearson, you're better at this than I am. Could you bind and perhaps search the prince? He might have some sort of item that could help
Yep.
by chance, and I trust your eyes and hands on this.
Not a problem. Wait, you did say Pearson, right?
Yes.
Yes. Not, Pearson he'll nod. He'll be like, that I can do. I'll be thorough through and through. There we go. No shocks for me.
Tee hee
oh God.
hee.
Oh, wee. All right. Search check or something like that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Frisk check?
Yes, do
Like
me,
basically,
do
it'd
me,
be like fucking.
do me your Born on the Streets. I think that would be you do that
Yeah,
thing a
Forged
lot.
on the
So
Streets,
Forged on
for
the
sure.
Streets plus your intelligence or dexterity. Kind of your call on that one.
We're going to say they're both the same bonus, actually. So either. They're both a +2. 25.
Okay. You find several weapons, hidden on his person. His armor is obviously exquisitely crafted. His sword is very expensive. In addition, you find that he is wearing on his forearms a set of bracers that you have trouble telling exactly, but they are. When you search, you know this much: they're magical.
Magic bracers, he says.
Does he have a signet ring on him?
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does. Want me to take it off?
Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay. Pearson will dexterously slide the ring off of the finger, carefully as not to wake the prince, and hand it over to Jarek.
All right. Jarek will take it, and he'll put it on his human hand.
And in the meantime, after that, Pearson's going to tie up the prince equally as gently while he's sleeping. Just his hands and arms, nothing more. In a relaxed position, so it's not too awkward. So the awkward positioning of his hands or arms wouldn't stir him to be awakened. And then Pearson is comfortable with hauling the prince firefighter style over his shoulder.
Okay.
Pearson's definitely strong enough.
Mm-hmm. He's used to moving lifeless bodies too.
It's kind of his thing.
Yeah, kind of was. Yeah.
While this is going on, I am going to go next to Kip and try and make sure that he puts the backpack on properly and all that.
He does. He does. And he says, "What was I not supposed to?" Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh no. Keen will reach up and very gently pat him on the top of the head. I'll try to make sure to teach you at least how to use daggers or something.
All right.
Okay. Come on.
He's like, okay.
What?
He's like, I could possibly, and he closes his eyes and concentrates, and one of his arms turns into a blue dragon claw. He says, well, if I had done that in the first place, that would have been a lot more effective.
Yeah, honestly.
So you guys...
you could also practice my lightning breath as well.
Yeah,
no
I forgot about that. Hang on, I forgot about that. His first words to you actually would be, how?
The same method that I taught you before. We can go over it again, but essentially you have to meditate and try and find your center.
He's quiet for a while and says, yes, I would like to go over it again later.
Of course. Of course.
All right, so you guys are in the Underdark.
Sweet. All right. We're making our way towards the capital again, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so navigation to there. I remember that Pearson and Cole were paying the most attention when we were touring down there.
It was actually you and I who got bonuses to Underdark navigation whenever we went to Windfall Isle with that gnome.
Yep.
That's right. So would you like us to do similar skill checks, Squee, or do you want to just narratively describe it?
Here's what we'll do. We can narratively describe it. You guys are going to have to work with Cole to find your way there. All the check, I'm going to forgo the check, because all the check would do is determine how long it takes, and that's really not what's important at the moment. So, because it's not like the guards can follow you where you are. So we can say that it took a few days. You guys maybe got lost once or twice, but you were able to get your way to around Iron Hall. The question then becomes, where do you want to go once you get there? Do you want to go inside, outside, etc.?
I think we make our way back to the front gate the same way that we went in first time.
We'll have the prince tied up, though.
I have the princess tied up as well, yes. And I will invoke the name of King Eodred, as well as the royal family with the royal seal. I don't think they would try to oppose me a second time.
All right, Pearson will simply say then, all right, Grimmeth. What? All right, Jarek, I'll trust you. We'll see this absolutely through.
Out of curiosity, when's the last time we've had a full heal up? Fuck, I can't even remember when the last time we had. It was the same session that we went to Iron Hall, so it was 2 sessions with the assassins and everything.
Okay, so you guys can get a full heal up, definitely. It's been a long time, yeah.
Okay.
Alright then. Cool.
Change the spell so they have flight back. Fantastic. Yeah, my recommendation is that we'd go and attempt the front gateway, and I show off my beautiful discussion skills.
Alright. Also, who has the gauntlets? I mean, not the gauntlets, the bracers.
I do?
Okay,
I
I'll
would.
send this to you.
Okay.
Give me a second. So,
Bracers of being sexy. I already got that under control.
I was gonna say, I don't think you need to wear those then.
No.
You should give those to Keen.
Olivia would appreciate it.
there you go. That's what those do.
What? These are perfect. I'm gonna just tell everyone they're called bracers of clobbering.
Shit. Sounds fun.
I love it. What an asshole.
I think the bracer magic item can count as like a monk type thing for like stuff in 13th Age,
Yes,
although I'm not
exactly.
entirely sure. Okay.
Yeah, it would be like Pearson. It would, if Pearson were to use them, it would count as like his melee weapon slot.
So that would boost your attack rolls and damage rolls.
Correct.
Sweet.
Also,
All right, so what?
Oh no, I was gonna say also, Pearson, since you've never actually chosen any of your magic items to upgrade to champion class, it is your choice to choose either to take this at epic, or to take this at normal or champion level. Because
I'll
remember,
take it at champion level.
I let everyone bump a magic item up. You never did, so you can do it to this one if you choose.
Oh, thanks. All right, thank you. I must have forgot to do that.
So +2 to attack rolls and damage rolls with those.
And then once per battle, I'm sorry, recharge 16 plus 2d8 for the rest of the battle damage.
Nice.
Dude, that's so good.
All right.
Yep.
So
and it's a constant +2 to attack and damage.
Yes.
Constant
Yes.
+2 to
Wow.
Yeah. Just by using that as a weapon, just like any other magical weapon.
Nice.
Yeah. That's why I love the Blow of Blindness so much.
yeah,
It's so good.
And Piff, we already settled yours because I know you, for a while I'd forgotten to tell you about that for your bracers, but we're good on that one, right?
What happened?
Your bracers give you +2 to attacks and rolls and damage.
All right, I'll have to put that in.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
Yes. Let's get that squared away. All right, so you guys approach the gates with. I'm just going to move you guys back to the inside of the tower for now. You approach the gates with Prince tied up and.
Yes, bound and gagged.
All right.
Prince, and then bound and gagged Princess too.
Mm-hmm.
Cole and Pearson are great at handling people. I think they can manage.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm a people person.
Which one would you like?
Well, I'll give the prince. He thinks it's great to beat tied up women. I'll keep him in mind.
All right.
So, guards, you might be unfamiliar with me. I am Jarek Veermal, recently having conversed with King Eodrin of Colhaven himself, sent me on a personal quest to retrieve his son. So I did. Now I'm going to be seeking audience, and surely you won't refuse the powerful and incredible Jarek Veermal, not to mention members of the royal family.
You see, one of the guards is the same guard that quit the last time you were there. And he very, very calmly, in a straight face, says, I didn't stop you then. I'm not stopping you now.
Smart man.
And he says, he just starts walking away again. And the other guard's like, but sir, and he's like, just don't. Just trust me.
Jarek actually calls out, I'm actually glad you're still alive. I didn't think you'd even head back to Ironhall.
He stops, turns his head, he says, I retired. Got bored. Came back. Think I'm retiring again.
Well, you can... I tell you what, you can stay around. There's going to be a power shift within Ironhall. I don't think you'll have to worry about job security.
In fact, Pearson will mutter, you might get a promotion, so keep that in motion.
Yeah.
For a second, I was like, why did he say that? Oh.
All right.
Fuck you.
Fuck you, that's why.
I was going to say commotion, but, that works too.
I know it's annoying most of the time, but he really has to rhyme.
Yeah, I know.
Seriously.
The
Stop
guard
that rhyming.
looks
I
at
hate
Pearson, raises an eyebrow, which is the most emotion you've ever seen him express, shrugs his shoulders and says, same, good enough for me, and walks back to the gate.
Jarek looks at the one guard there like, so I can break this gate down. I can also fly over the wall. Could you let me in so that I don't have to waste my time?
Your squire behind you is saying he can fly.
I have to admit, I forgot he was there this session. Completely forgot he was there.
This whole time.
I noticed that like when we're in the Underdark, like, wait a second, where has he been? Like this entire time.
Like to think he was just frozen speechless, like because he didn't want to like fucking fuck with anyone. Like if I'd actually remembered that he was there, I would have suggested him instead of Baby Junior for an experiment.
I just imagine you left him with the werewolves when you went to the Mad Wizard. You come back, he's just sitting there going, "You left me."
You know that's great. I'm actually sad at myself and my failing memory for having forgotten him. I'm sorry my real life interfered with me remembering you, buddy. But it's okay. You're here.
He, as a dutiful squire, is never going to show that he...
Yes. It's the fact that he's been dead fucking silent because he does not want to attract attention.
You know what? He's just smart.
He's
there we go.
He's a 16-year-old kid that's been caught up in events way beyond his experience.
So yes, there you go.
He's had a lifetime of adventure, and he's only 16.
Named him like Roger or fucking I don't remember. Could be Timmy and
Chuck.
I care.
I think Roger.
it was Roger.
I think Roger is what we named him. Yeah.
All right. So Jarek stares at the guard. See this individual? He was standing guard, like you, at this gate, not too long ago. See him now? He made the correct decision. What do you like to make the decision?
Roger's nodding emphatically. The guard just like looks around, looks at everyone, and says, "Oh, I am so gonna get in trouble for this," and then opens up the gate.
Jarek shrugs and strides in.
The other guard that shows no emotion just pats the other one on the shoulder and hands him a flask, which he's not supposed to have on duty.
Fine. We'll probably attract attention. We might attract Richard Harkin's attention before we make our way to the king. I'm fucking striding my way to that damn entry into the king's section of art. Oh.
Yeah, you are walking through the town with a tied-up prince and princess. You are most certainly drawing attention. You are drawing a crowd.
Yes. You know what? Let's get this started. I don't have anything prepared at all. Let's do this. Hear me, people of Ironhall, using Ghost Sound Amplified Voice. For I, Callhaven's loyal servant, Jarek Veermal, have arrived to save the people of Callhaven from madness and the injustices and cruelty brought on by the royal family. We will bring King Eodrin himself to trial along with his tyrant son for their crimes against the people. So I swear to you as a Veermal, royal interrogator and sacred, devout follower of... I have destroyed undead and monsters all my life, and now I have to deal with monsters who are in guises all too familiar with ours. You will be freed today. He's not gonna stop, but if anyone's getting his way, he'll fucking fly over them, because fuck them, they're peasants.
Alright.
Fuck peasants, got ya.
Hear excited murmuring from the norms, from the peasants.
Don't you start calling them norms, because then that
Sorry.
makes it true, Squee.
Tradition of Callhaven demands that a king answer to his people, and King Eodrin has forsaken justice and fairness, sacrificed it all for cruelty, paranoia, and madness. This will not stand. It is my right to challenge the king for his failures and to put him on trial for his false, unworthy actions.
You gather a crowd, like hundreds, if not thousands of people are following you and listening to you by the time you get to the gates. The at the front of the gates is the guy. Oh,
The guy.
God.
My guy?
Your
Richard
guy.
Harkin?
Yes, Harkin. God, I gotta remember names. All right.
Yeah,
Harkin, he's just standing there watching all of this. And then when you get close to him, he sees the prince and princess. And he just kind of
And
quietly...
of course the little girl who's like walking next to him, who's like fucking 3 years old, and I'm pretty sure we had enough days to explain this, like, let mommy tell you what's gonna happen.
Yeah, her mom basically tried the best he could to explain it and calm her down. And he looks at all of it and he just goes, "Holy hell, Jarek! What? What?" And he just opens the doors.
Pearson's gonna say he's gonna fix everything. Ring-a-ding-ding.
Such a tool.
This is the best thing ever.
Yeah, Jared was thinking of saying some words for his master, but can't talk right now. I'm too busy overthrowing Dynasty.
Put that on my grave.
And he leads you through the palace, and as he does so, he
I definitely do want all the commoner people to follow. They are like no guards fucking gonna stop this mass of people.
Okay. They follow you in down the halls. And basically, as you're walking, he goes, "Jarek, I thought you might bring the son back. I didn't think you'd bring him and his wife back in chains. What's going on?"
Master Harkin, all will be explained to you. Please trust in me as you did years back.
He nods and looks at the crowd behind him and says, "Not like you've given me much choice."
Master Harkin, you've always had a choice.
Fair enough. And you get to the hall with a bunch of smiley faces following you.
It's me.
Oh.
Token's not there, so I'm just taking some creative liberties. Please continue.
Well, then I won't bother fixing it because you've done such a good job. You burst into the throne room where the king is sitting on his throne surrounded by guards, much like you left him. If anything, he looks more haggard and hunched over, and when you burst in, he says, "What is the meaning of this?"
King Eodrin, you may recall speaking with I, loyal servant of Colhaven, Jarek Virmal. You personally requested that I deliver your son back to you for his traitorous crimes against the throne of Colhaven. Well, I have brought him back, unharmed, in chains, as you requested. I also brought along his monster of a wife as well. We can talk about that more, too.
The princess gives you a glance like, "Hey." The king calms down for a second and then says, Yes, I did. Good. At least there are still some faithful servants in Iron Hall. By the way, the throne room is filling up with peasants.
Good. Jarek is going to... He didn't fucking bother to bow, didn't bother to kneel. Just going to stand there and... Well, he's not going to smile as well. He is filled with responsibility. God damn it. Heinrich saved me from responsibility. But surely he'll wait for the king to make his next move.
What do I think of Heinrich freaking like sitting down with like a fork and knife and eating a steak?
That was served to him by Richard, yeah.
No, what would have been great is if Heinrich and Jarek did body swaps, right?
Oh, that would have been great.
God.
That'd be hilarious.
Oh, well.
Would it be, no, what would be the most amazing part is that nothing changes.
Yeah, seriously, nothing would change.
All right, the king goes down, and he doesn't leave basically his perimeter of guards, but he goes down to them and says, "Yes, death to the traitors, death to them all."
You know, king. And he says that with all matter of insolence they can. It's funny you mention death to traitors, 'cause I, loyal servant of Colhaven, would like to speak to you about that.
He looks up, and he looks very, well, deranged. He's got spittle on his cheeks that he hasn't bothered to wipe off. His eyes are always darting to and fro. He's very visibly not well.
Fellow servants of Colhaven, men and women who've given your blood and toil for years, could you please look, at least for a moment, and you as well, gesturing to the guards, to the king?
The king says, What is the meaning of this?
King Eodrin, you have forsaken your duties and responsibilities to the people of Colhaven with your intense paranoia, your sealing of the capital city of Ironhall, and your refusal to accept reason. I am challenging you right now in a trial to determine you're fit to rule.
The crowd murmurs, and the king looks at you wildly, and he says, "I am your king. You dare challenge me as if a mere mortal could stand before me?" And more spit flicks from his mouth.
A mere mortal. If memory serves through all of my years, the kings and queens of Coalhaven have been just and fair and earned their respect from the people, earned their right to rule. Tell me, fair people, what over the past month, ever since Eodrin sealed the city, has made him worthy of being your king?
There is some angry murmurs in the crowd, and the guards look a little unsure. And the king looks to the guards and says, "Kill this traitor! Kill him!" The guards just kind of look at the crowd and each other and the group and...
Let me remind you of your history. Perhaps you've forgotten the kingdom of Felma and the fate of Mad King Hilden. Once upon a time, Coalhaven was a part of something bigger, and then the ruler became insane and split apart this great nation. Remember when it used to be greater size and instead left the people open to weaknesses and threats from all angles, like the High Elves. Sounds like something similar is happening here. Perhaps if you actually listened to your people instead of cowering like a yellow-bellied worm, you would understand the necessities of being a ruler. You cannot trade on your reputation. Not in this place. Not when I challenge you in front of all these people to prove that you're still worthy of leading them.
As you talk, the king's face grows more and more enraged, and he says, "Coward! Challenge? I am your king! I will kill you with my bare hands!" And he bursts through the guards and charges right towards Jarek, wielding a wooden stick that's really not much more than a sentimental ornament.
I don't suppose he has 20 hit points or fewer, does he?
He actually does have 20 hit points or fewer. He's old and insane and has not eaten.
You know, I wonder if I can do this non-lethally, since it is my own spell and power. Squee, to not kill him and consume his life force to heal someone. Because it isn't a talent of mine.
Yes, I would say that if you feel your character could, he could.
All right.
Why don't you justify it as you suck out his life force, then feed it right back into him, and the shock just causes him to, like, go prone or something.
That would just put him in the brink of death.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess I can do that. And it'll be great for great effect, too, while he's charging and rushing. We'll do what Burn suggests. Jarek will extend his hand, the amethyst energy crackling from it, and says, "If you're worthy of being my king, then why is it that you kneel?"
Oh my god. The king gets within 5 feet of Jarek and then stops, and his mouth works a bit as if he's in shock, and then he falls to his knees and kind of leans back with his arms back against the ground and just kind of looks up at the sky, and in bright-eyed shock keeps saying, "I'm king, I'm king, I'm..."
Jarek will walk up and press like one of his fingers on the king's head and just like push forward.
The king falls over, unconscious.
Well, people, I would certainly hope that the proud leaders of Coalhaven could be stronger of spirit and confidence than Eogen just proved himself to be. Now, I am familiar with the principles. Master Harkin, if memory
Racers, how does the process go whenever a king is proven unfit for rule?
Harkin steps up, and as calmly and as authoritatively as he can, and as loudly as he can, says, "In absence of the king, his heirs take the throne. However, if I am to understand correctly, the prince is under arrest?"
Indeed he is. And you know, that's a great thing to have an entire conversation with the city. So, and Jarek will dismissively wave the guards, you come along, escort the king, please. The former king, if you will. We're going to have a talk in the grand square with all of the people of Ironhall. Gather your friends, your peers, your loved ones, because there is a day of reckoning right now. I, Jarek Veermall, swear this, and I will not stop until I see justice done.
The guard's still very hesitant, not quite sure exactly what's going on, seeing their king, who they know is mad, get owned. Do what you say.
Good.
Slowly, hesitantly,
Jarek will, confident that they will follow his whim, turn around and start walking back through the peasants.
The peasants have been in stunned silence ever since the king charged and was kneeled.
Yeah, that applies to you as well. Gather your friends, your enemies, loved ones, hated ones. We're meeting now. Change will not wait for you.
Ooh.
All right. You go to the courtyard. I would say it takes about a half hour or so for people to gather.
That's fine.
But the courtyard is eventually packed with the thousands of inhabitants from Ironhall.
You're at half hour, Jarek's gonna look at the other people like,
Are you sure? Is this the best option? Because I really don't like this option.
The gagged prince shakes his head with wide bulging eyes.
Jarek like looking at the rest of the party. Does the rest of the party have anything?
Cole is standing a lot taller and seems to be very he looks like I'm not even sure how to put this. He's like in grand resolve. Like he is appreciating this on a fine, like on a he's just appreciating it a lot, I suppose. And he goes, "This is exactly what I wanted."
Pearson will give a smile and say, "What can I say? This is not a boring day."
Jarek looks down at Finn. Finn.
Bark, bark.
No.
Jarek will even look at Keen despite his dislike of Keen.
What other option do we have? Honestly, we've come this far.
You're going to need my help in dealing with... I can't just sit here. That's what I'm going to have to do.
Kip's just looking at Jarek as proud, as if like a father looking at a proud son.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna have to make sure this girl doesn't die and isn't misled.
Jarek?
Tanner fellow.
Jarek, you will be able to help just as much, if not more, by staying here. You would be essentially giving us an army.
Cole actually, breaks his resolve and actually kind of looks like the normal Cole, and he looks back. "I didn't know you would be here."
Jarek gives a sad look at Cole and says,
Yeah, I leave this girl alone. Something bad will happen to her.
Yep.
After what I'm going to share with all these people, they're going to need stability.
Cole will... He'll actually look a bit teary-eyed at that point.
I mean, I guess I could use the stone. No.
That would leave us with one. And Keen will smile and give Spotty, are you sure you want to leave it up to us to be responsible for the
You might want to
entirety
save
of
them.
Ardenfell with just one stone?
No, you're right, I don't.
I figured.
Jarek puffs.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Jarek's vast intellect is like,
Look, there's got to be a... we can talk about this. There's got to be another way here, right?
As you say that, Delilah, who's still not exactly sure what's going on, but knows something important is happening, slips her hand into Jarek's and looks up at him and smiles.
Jarek's heart melts. He looks down at the girl and... And then he'll gently squeeze the girl's hand.
And at that point, the crowd is gathered and waiting for your every word. They grew quiet as they saw that transaction.
Players, you guys want to do something? I don't fucking want to take over a session, guys.
No, don't worry about it.
do it.
I'm entertained.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah. Besides, I'm getting sick of rhyming. Put her on the throne.
Put her on the throne already. Fuck.
Put her on the fucking throne!
All right. Jarek will slowly turn to look at everyone and using his ghost sound amplified voice says,
People of Colhaven, you are gathered here today to witness great tragedy. I am Jarek Veermall. Some of you will know my name. Loyal servant of Colhaven for 2 decades. Royal interrogator who loyally and faithfully served the throne. I, in my years, have hunted down great evil, demons, undead, all manners of foul, blasphemous cretins to ever haunt this nation. But it is with great sadness in my heart that I report to you that the greatest evil plaguing Colhaven today was eating it from within. You know it yourselves. You've seen it. King Eodrin of Colhaven, proud, just, harsh but fair. I grew up knowing nothing but his rule. So did many of you. Trusted him. Why wouldn't he? He had earned our respect and loyalty, as had his father before him. Yet, what had changed? It's the same thing that happened to the kingdom of Felmar. Now, you might not know your history too well, but you know as I do the taunts. King Halden, the fool. King Halden, the mad. And that is what afflicted the fallen King Eodrin. Madness. Completely sealing off the capital. You know how proud and great this city is. You can't just bottle it up. The harvest, the people who need your protection, the people who come to petition themselves before the Lord, they had nothing. Nothing but the king's orders. And you followed. Because of course you did. Because he's the king. But let me remind you that while it is our will and duty to serve our lords and ladies, it is their duty to serve ours. And Eodrin was sorely lacking in that regard. Not once did he pay any consideration for you at all, bottling himself up with his guards in his ruthless and petty paranoia. His duty is to protect you. And he was not there at all. I did what any loyal servant of Colhaven, who only wishes to see its nation prosper, would do. I gathered my resolve and challenged my king, demanding that he be put on trial for his uncouth actions, that he answer before all of his people to see whether he does deserve to rule. There's precedent in the past. You would know it. I do not need to explain it to you. And Eodrin, being as petty as he is, demanded, kill him, and then he charged at me. Sunken-eyed, look at how weak he is there, shuddering and shivering. Is that the face of a king? Is that the face of the man you want to lead you? Is that the posture? The look in his eyes? Do you want that to lead you? Intentional silence.
There is several shouts of no.
Exactly. And so he charged this loyal servant of Cullhaven himself that he was going to put me to the sword for my actions. Perhaps so. I'm committing treason, right? Rather than put me on trial, he would need to strike me down before hundreds in order to prove that he's strong and mighty and deserves to have his title, even though I made a very reasonable request for him to be put on trial. After all, if I were wrong, he would prove it in front of all of you, and then I would answer for my crimes. He charged me, and I know word has already spread. The hundreds who can verify it with their own eyes and the guards who were there. I told him, if he were my king, then why was it that he wished to kneel before me? And you know what happened? Now Jarek will wheel over and look at King Eodrin again and say, kneel!
He falls to his knees again.
Isn't that just destiny? Willed by the very gods themselves. As Jarek holds up the hand which wears the signet ring, that King Eodrin, despite all of his madness, something in there which screams out for his people and nation, recognizes that he must kneel and concede that he is no longer fit to rule, unless you think that a proper king would kneel before someone whom he considers a traitor. Intentional silence again.
There is a lot of silence with one. No.
So, we'll have the trial right now. People of Cullhaven, please, popular vote here. Give your opinions. Is Eodrin fit to rule you any longer?
There is a thunderous roar of no.
Well, Eodrin, it should be asked again. Well, we want to make sure that you're making the right decision, not just for yourselves, but for the entire nation of Cullhaven. You speak for so many people. Your actions today, you are portents of change. Is Eodrin fit to rule this land any longer?
There is another thunderous roar of no, mixed with, he betrayed us and he's mad.
So be it. Then he'll give a dismissive wave at Eodrin. He'll be dealt with later. And now we get to the matter of the royal family, because I previously visited Ironhall, and I was deeply distraught by the horror I had seen, and I realized that I, a loyal servant of Cullhaven, who sacrificed my life to hunt down criminals and bring them to justice, would need to consult the royal family, and that I would need to secure the succession, to ensure that King Eodrin's intelligent and capable son was able to rise to the throne without any trouble. And so I went to far-off Fort Vigilant, where Prince Eodrin himself was overseeing the defense of the region. And I hoped that I could speak with the king, bring him to reason. And you know what I discovered? That Prince Eodrin is actually a tyrant who consorts with wizards to raise monsters.
There's a surprised murmur running through the crowd.
Yes, I didn't believe it myself. How could I? My king was afflicted by insanity. His son, no, not his son. It couldn't be both of them, right? So I investigated, as I was trained to do, as I was built to do, for it is my thing to ferret out the truth, no matter where it might be. And I found irrefutable proof. But before I get to it, ungag the prince for me, please.
The prince is ungagged, and he immediately starts cursing at Jarek, saying, "You traitor, I will have your head for this."
Jarek ramps up ghost sound. Prince Eodrin, I charge you with the unlawful corruption of Cullhaven people, conspiring to use them in your own traitorous ways, in alignment with the High Elves, to bring about your own claims and bring an end to your father's life. You know, the fact that your father thought he was going to be assassinated wasn't entirely unfounded, was it, Prince?
The prince looks at you wide-eyed and then looks to the crowd and says, "What? No, I never did any such thing. He speaks lies."
Now, would you believe that Prince Eodrin's next best method after the first failed assassination attempt was to breed lycanthropes? Yes, werewolves, shapeshifters who could conjure up human forms and skulk about us unseen. And what better, most trusted, most capable person right in the royal bloodline would be able to get close enough to Eodrin to kill him than the princess?
Again, murmurs run through the audience.
Why don't you unbind the princess for me, please?
The princess unbinds, steps forward, and looking at Jarek, looks to the audience.
I have compelled you with my magic. You are now within a zone of truth, and if you are wishing for mercy on the future ruler of Cullhaven, then you will wish to reveal the truth. Do so, princess.
She nods and transforms into a werewolf. Then she stands and points to the prince and says, "He did this to me." There's obviously very shocked gasps and cries of terror from the audience when she turns into the werewolf.
Calm down, people. She is within my control. I, Jarek Veermar, loyal servant of Cullhaven. She will bring no harm to you any longer. But that does not change the crimes that were committed. Princess, how did your transformation come about?
She says, "The prince, against their will, turned 200 of his best men into werewolves. They were driven mad and ran as the prince tried to slaughter them to fix his mistake. I, denying him, rising up against him, trying to stop him, was cast down into the same fate of his subordinates."
200 of the prince's best men, loyal servants of Cullhaven, just like all of you out there. If you were stationed in Fort Vigilant, guards on the walls, smiths on the streets, you also would have suffered the same fate of being turned into a monster for Prince Eodrin's petty power play.
The prince shouts to himself, "Lies! Where are they then? If I did such a thing, where's your proof, one little woman?" And at that sound, you start to see people moving from the audience towards the stage, and you see at their head Marshall with 9 other people that were werewolves stand up on the stage next to the princess. And Marshall looks down at Finn and says, "We can't let this happen to anyone else." And then they all change into werewolves. And amongst the shock and fear, Marshall says, "It is true. We were all guards, torn against our will into werewolves. Jarek Vilmir speaks the truth." And with that, many cries of recognition, "I know that guy. That's my father," ring out, and then many angry shouts towards the prince.
It is so unfortunate that people so loyal and devoted to this great nation, to see its prosperity, were forced to become this against their will, to assume the forms of monsters. Even in their hearts, they are still devoted to their people, all because of the prince.
The prince is quiet but seething, and the crowd is exploding in anger and rage.
Gag him up for me, will you?
He is gagged.
So,
Person can gag him if necessary.
you can understand my concern then. King Eodrin, afflicted by madness. I, Jarek Viermal, loyal servant of the people, head to Fort Vigilant, hoping to reason with the prince. Find out that the prince is more of a monster than the king himself. The king, afflicted by senility. His condition, a consequence of old age. Entirely understandable. And brought on by the prince, hoping to assassinate his father, which not sure whether I have the capacity to forgive. How about you people? You want this Eodrin to rule you?
There is again a thunderous roar of no.
And so we head down to... And Jarek looks down at Delilah. Uncorrupted, untainted, still with the royal bloodline. The young princess. Not mad, not cruel, not power-hungry. I've seen the strength in her that I've studied in history texts, and I know have existed in other great leaders of Colhaven. I, loyal servant of the people, Jarek Viermal, who so thoroughly dedicated his existence to hunting out evil no matter where it was in this lands, looked at this young princess, expecting to see some taint in her, expecting to find her lacking, and I found nothing. Young, but fit, and a capable ruler in time with the right guidance from you, the people, and from the advisors she will undoubtedly have. Part of the bloodline, which is important, for we of Colhaven are dependable, and we need the guidance of royalty, as royalty also needs guidance from us. Now, we could have a princess, but unfortunately, she has been cursed, and people of Colhaven, I don't think it fair and just at all to sentence the princess or any of the other creatures who were cursed with this horrid fate to death. However, they must be exiled out of concern for the dangers they could pose. Even Delilah's own mother, where they will be escorted out of our nation and allowed to live out their lives as best as they can somewhere else. Hopefully, they can forgive us, for we failed them. We, who did not see the evil of King Eodrin or Prince Eodrin until it was too late.
There is murmurs in the crowd that are quiet but agreeable.
And King Eodrin as well. should also be sent off. Exiled, perhaps to a place that would be accommodating of his needs. He, too... It's not something that I'm sure he intended to do, for he's served us as king for so many years, but it is necessary to move on and ensure that the young ruler is not weakened by him.
With that, there is more murmuring.
I know. It's unprecedented in our lifetimes, but a necessity and important to show that we, unlike the monsters who came before us, are not without mercy. But you, Prince, so dearly tempt. Shifting eyes back to the gagged prince. I am not sure whether there is anything I could do which would exact retribution for all of the harm that you have caused. Indeed, it's not within my purview to do so. I am no judge. I'll leave that for the gods, once you are dead, to answer for all of your sins against the people you so desire to rule, calling them slaves. Nothing before you, so arrogant and petty, you tyrant prince. It is good that I returned to excise the evil. It would have been gravely unfortunate if you had become ruler. Then the High Elves would have taken over for sure.
His eyes are bulging in terror now.
Yet, I think death would be too kind, because that would allow you to head to the gods sooner. Maybe they would give you mercy and peace. I can't say I know the gods for certain, but I would enjoy keeping you around as long as possible. We'll build your very own tower, a spot right on the keep, a place just for you, where you'll have no want, no need for food or water, so that you can watch your young daughter grow and become the ruler you always desired to be, but never could quite manage. I think spending the rest of your years in that quiet, powerless torment will begin to make up for all of the pain you've caused.
His face is a strange mix of relief and rage. And the crowd, it cheers.
And let me assure you, fallen prince, I, Jarek Veermall, arbiter of justice, will not let you forget what you have done.
Again, a roarish cheer from the crowd.
Jarek will let the roar play out.
And
so
as the roar starts to die down, your mentor,
Richard
Harkin, steps forward and says, "Hail, Queen Delilah!" and kneels down on one knee in front of her, and everyone in the courtyard cheers Delilah and takes a knee, bowing their heads to her.
Jarek will actually let go of her hand and do the same.
Cole will follow suit.
Keen will follow suit and motion for Kip to do as well.
Kip will follow suit.
As will BJ and Finn.
As will a previously muted Pearson.
Now, let it be said that we in Cullhaven are not without a bit of fun. For too long has the grand city of Ironhall been closed and sealed, choked in paranoia and fear. I think, despite all of the grief and sorrow I've brought to you today, I, Jarek Veermall, loyal servant of Cullhaven, I think we should muster up a festival. Crack open the granaries and the breweries and cheer the fact that we have a new, fit, capable queen who will guide us out of the maddening darkness.
There is a roarish cheer as people start to exit the courtyard.
Yes, Jarek will disperse them. And
That-
sigh quietly.
I'm sorry, with that, Harkin will say a fine speech.
It's just, I hate peasants so much, Master Harkin.
He just nods sympathetically.
Harkin knows he saved Jarek from death from peasants. Jarek will look at the group and look at the princess and say, I hope that's good enough. I do apologize for you not being able to watch your daughter grow.
She shakes her head and she says, it is for the best, and perhaps one day I will.
Jarek offers a small smile. If you wish to say your farewells, I can leave you to it.
She nods and takes Delilah off to the side and kneels down to one knee and begins speaking to her softly, out of earshot.
Jarek looks at Marshall and says, not quite a death, but I'm hoping the powerless bit will fully exact the right amount of... I might be a little sadistic in this. I do want him to suffer.
Marshall nods, and then he glances at Pearson and says, it is good that the cycle not be continued.
Pearson nods.
Jarek looks at the others and says, now look, I don't know whether we need to have an official coronation. I think these contracts are up, stranger.
And, actually, as you say that, every single one of them glows, and all of a sudden you find yourselves in the appropriate body, or are able to talk without any shock, or an orc.
Oh.
Cole immediately drops the log he's been carrying.
Jesus. Oh
What?
boy. I don't know.
What?
Piff said that Cole had picked up a log that was like 4 feet long. He's been carrying it with him the
Oh,
entire
that's right.
Oh my god!
Like
I
he's from like
forgot about
Mother
that.
3 that he was I think it's Lighter who is the one who carries around that fucking like lumber stick.
Anyway, Pearson will suggest that it's just the suggestion of an old ex-thug, but maybe the prince can still serve some sort of purpose. He obviously has some sort of combat and leadership prowess. Perhaps when the time comes to fight the demons, he might find a place in the front lines. Maybe he can redeem himself that way.
My concern would be that he might still have some loyal followers left among the guards who think that this is all just a bunch of trumped-up charges from a pretender.
Gotcha. Fair enough. But yes, I'm very glad that very little blood was spilled. It just makes everyone weaker, after all.
It's like we've actually strove to achieve peace for a nation without any demonic influence, and we might have for once in our efforts succeeded.
Cool.
With that, the princess returns to you and she says, I have said my goodbyes. Raise her well. And then she looks... Oh, go ahead.
No, I don't have anything.
She looks to the others and she says, we will make our way to the Sunset Tower and provide whatever aid we can in this war.
We may meet you there.
Mm-hmm.
She
Yeah.
nods, and the...
Why don't we all head there together?
We may need to depart in a different trail, but we might.
Yeah.
We have to discuss it first.
Mm-hmm.
They are escorted off by guards But they nod and they say, perhaps we will see you there. And you hear from behind you in the courtyard a silken voice that is very familiar by now going, it starts with a clap, and then, well, I didn't expect that outcome. Well played.
Jarek, like, without even twiddling his head, see, I told you you had your chance to get on the ground floor.
It's true, Tannen. He did say that.
Now, I'm not opposed to negotiation.
Tannen smiles and says, no need for negotiation. A stable city is beneficial to both of us. If you agree to not dive too closely into my dealings, I will do whatever I can, which is considerable, to legitimize your claim and keep anyone who would fight against it preoccupied.
Jarek will actually turn his head and offer a small smile and say,
I think the young queen would appreciate that, until she can answer for herself.
Tannen nods and gives a very flourishing curtsy to the health of the queen, and then takes his leave.
To the health of the queen.
Jarek looks back at his team PC and says,
I hate him too. Is he a peasant?
No, he's the Prince of Thieves.
He's the guy that had me killed. Well, tried to have me killed.
Why didn't you tell me that sooner? I would have vaporized him on the spot. Even for you.
Really?
Pearson shakes his head and says, I don't know so much about that. Tannen Mealy is a spry bastard. He has a lot of decoys.
I'm probably right. Although
All
I
I
am
know...
Go ahead.
Sorry. All I know is it was a guy under his employ.
Well, what I do know is, I suppose it's for the best we didn't try to capture the man he was pretending to be and attempt to torture out secrets from him.
Oh, everyone assumes it was torture. It would have been interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I've done my share of interrogations in my day.
Mm-hmm. As have I. But... Regent?
So, when are we leaving for Sunset Tower? Jarek looks hopeful.
You're staying here.
I can, like, teleport back. They're not gonna piss me.
You notice Harkin behind you.
Jarek, like, looks at... Alright, so I can't teleport yet. I'm working on it, Master Harkin.
Every second that child is out of your sight, her life is in danger.
Look,
You said that yourself.
Yes, well, I'm one of the few people who can end the demonic threat. My life is just as valuable, which means that I need to stay on the move constantly, right?
Perhaps. My suggestion is that we return to Sunset Tower while you ensure everything here is stable.
Yep.
We won't be pushing forward into the heart without you, Jarek. But for now, the greatest good might be to have you here for just a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, what if the worst case scenario happens? We all fail. There's still a guy that can use the stones.
Look, you saw what happened in that alternate past universe reality when Sky, she was left alone. Look, I'm quite capable and powerful, thank you, but if you companions fail, I don't think I would be able to succeed without you.
Well, you
True.
have some extra time to work on your project.
I can't reach the dragon cannon from here.
That's true.
Oh, you know what? I am regent now.
Jarek then lets out like this wide grin and looks back at Richard Harkin.
I've got an idea. We'll talk later.
Harkin looks dubious. And then he shakes his head and puts a hand on his shoulder and says, "Fear not, Jarek. I will deal with the administration and paperwork. You play nanny and concentrate on that.
Wait, you can't pawn that off on me. You're better at watching
away.
children. You're better at watching children than I am. You watch me. You can't do this to me. I am regent. Look at me. I wield power beyond compare.
Oh God, what have we done?
He's just walking away.
Master,
Okay.
just wait. I'll put you in prison too.
Hey, he already served his time. Now it's your turn.
Pearson will say, suffice to say, you are always welcome to travel beside us, especially while we continue to stop this demonic threat. However, we do understand if you have some things to do here as well. We want a strong Cullhaven. After all, it borders what used to be the Freelands and will be integral to our push to kick these fuckers out.
Yep. We essentially have them surrounded.
I hate that your suggestion, Pearson Collymore, put me in this position, but I have no one to blame but myself for agreeing to it. Do keep in mind that I wield considerable power of not a popular variety, and it's not exactly like I can contain that very well, being who I am. Humble and modest, Jarek.
Oh yes, the most humble.
Yes, humblest.
So,
Maybe you can have that twit Celine get me one of those books so I can write to you.
sure, maybe I won't ask her in that particular way, but
Look, I don't think there's enough words I can describe for how worthless I think she is, but I guess she was important to us and we showed off her unconscious body and got people to believe what we were trying to say.
yeah.
What's that?
Now look at us.
Didn't the royalty have their own book?
Yeah, I thought they did.
Yeah. Jarek says regrettably as if he was actually not wanting a book. I guess there is. I hope something didn't happen to it. Perhaps
Yeah.
set ablaze or thrown down a bottomless well by a paranoid and madness-inflicted king.
Well, in
Fingers
case
crossed.
in case you do still have it, you'll be able to talk to your most favorite person in the world, Celine.
I wanted to talk to you, not to her.
It's true.
Oh, she will probably want to talk to you.
That is not reciprocal. The feeling is not mutual.
There you go.
She can stay there in her pleasure tower, having no kingdom of her own.
Our kingdom exists still. It's just occupied right now.
All right, so before you leave then, what are you doing next? You're going to head to Sunset Tower and then what?
Not too sure. We'll have to figure out from there.
Yeah.
You have the Dark Elves,
We
whom
do.
you may have greatly saved from lots of trouble since the mother's death. As for the High Elves, that'd be a hostile encounter, I think.
It would not be a great idea.
Probably.
Although, before we leave, I'm going to have you make me a small promise. Don't become an opulent, pompous fool, Jarek. We don't need another courtier here. We need someone who actually, doesn't fill their head filled with golden shit.
Well, I am wielding more power than I ever thought I would.
You
And
sure
I no
are.
longer have to travel along with you champions of Lady Celine.
Nope.
All things are considered, Heinrich can have the most amazing life right now, better than I could have ever provided him. I thought I was going to have to change planes. That's what I was going to use the wish stone for. If things went completely wrong, I'd just leave. But now, I have something to fight for.
You do.
Cole will laugh at that.
Just stay yourself, I suppose, for good or ill.
I'm glad I have your permission.
Oh no! Oh no! 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 Pearson says that wasn't permission. That was a threat. Because if I come back here and you're filled with finery, and your eyes are bigger than your stomach, so to speak, I'm gonna set you in the right place.
Look, they probably already are. I don't eat.
Maybe. It's a turn of phrase.
I'm glad you can say that without rhyming.
Yeah, I'm fucking glad too. Although I might come up with a naughty limerick that has the word Jarek in it on the way back up to Sunset Tower. I'll let you know if I figure one out.
Thanks. Make sure to write it to me in the journal you won't have.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I'll pay a bard to sing it.
Fantastic. That's what I need spreading around.
Mm-hmm.
Weakening the regent.
There once was a man named Jarek who
Was very
I don't know.
Fucking rhyme dictionary doesn't help you with that shit, does it?
No. No.
I do have something to do, but I want to give everyone a chance to talk to Jarek before I do it. So
I said what I need to say.
Look, we've already said goodbye before. It was before I left you to go play with a cannon.
Uh-huh. So we'll see you again. We'll see how long.
I hope not.
Oh,
I am
thanks.
tired of you. I was doing so much better whenever I wasn't forced to become regent of an entire nation. You know how much work I'm gonna have to do now?
A ton.
Hey, this
More
is
work than you've ever had to do.
My life has been devoted to shirking responsibility. You're not helping.
No.
I was lazy as a kid, and that has continued.
It's a good thing that you don't need to sleep, because you'll be able to get everything done.
Oh no, don't tell them that. They'll want to visit me at all hours. Did you hear that the regent doesn't sleep? Oh, he doesn't have to eat or drink either. We can just visit him whenever. Jarek the Just. Hate peasants.
Well, if we ever find a good fight, we might send it your way, just to liven things up if you'd like.
I appreciate that, Cole, but I am confident you would steal any fun in it from me. Jarek gives Cole a knowing look. How does it feel to be an orc again?
I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
It feels very freeing, to be honest.
Jarek smiles.
Cole is an orc, right? He's not a half-orc?
No, he is an orc, yes.
I'm so confused.
Jarek looks over the Finn. Finn,
I mean, you know, you got
Woof.
stuff to do here. Hey, I'm not. Shoot, just glares at Pearson.
Jarek actually waves Finn over. Come here.
What?
No, come. Trust me, please.
Finn walks over.
Jarek will actually throw his arms around Finn in a hug.
Oh, Finn starts crying. Poor Finn.
Jarek will say it loud enough for the other characters here. Thank you for the kindness you showed me ever so long ago. I was harsh on you at the start, and I still will be, because I think there's so much missing in that pretty little head of yours. But I appreciate what you have done, and I could not have made it through everything without you.
Finn sort of nods.
Still hugging Finn, Jarek will look over at Kip and say, well, back in your own body, how does it feel?
Sorry, my mic was muted. Kip's bawling his eyes out. He says
Jarek will like lift a hand from Finn and like reach over to like grab the dragon's neck. Come here.
Group hug.
Kip comes in the hug and says, I'm gonna fly and visit you a lot, jerk.
All right. I'll explain all of the things that Keen won't explain to you.
No, God, God. Damn it. Why?
You're welcome here as you like. And Jarek looks over between everyone at Keen and I meant what I said about putting down the Prince of Thieves. I still do hate you for everything you've done, but I suppose Pearson was right. I did change a little bit. I don't want to kill you, even after everything. You've burdened me with responsibility and guilt. This was Pearson's idea, I'm sure. Make me regent. And he squints his eye suspiciously. This was your idea, wasn't it?
Yep, you caught me, Pearson says, rolling his eyes.
Jarek looks suspiciously between Keen and Pearson.
I had no part of this.
Pearson will say, I'll let you know how things go with Sky, too.
I appreciate that.
At which point, you see your 3-year-old charge about 20 feet away in the courtyard, putting some sort of plants into her mouth.
Oh, no.
Jarek, turns his head.
And mage hands the plants away.
She looks really confused, and then starts trying to go over to where the plants fell.
Jarek will slowly mage hand the plants back to him while still hugging Finn.
She just kind of stands there.
Pearson will say, I hope you do get that book from Lady Celine so you can communicate with us. Because if you need any tips with raising or teaching a 3-year-old girl, I've had a little bit of experience with that. Twice over, actually.
Wait, that was just... I'm not going to become her... No, that's not... No, I'm...
Keen is furiously nodding.
That's not happening. I already had enough fun teaching Kip how to do things. It's not happening with her.
God.
Finn will pat Jarek on the cheek and kind of smile like, yep, you signed up for this.
Jarek almost, no, I didn't, Finn. This isn't fair.
I know, life isn't fair. I think we learned that.
Can I use the wish stone to make her grow up?
No, that'd be
No. No.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
After the entire speech of her not being corrupted, what do you think the villagers would say? Holy fuck, she just grew up overnight.
I used my magic,
Jarek feels a tug on his robe. Delilah is pointing at the plants in his hand.
Jarek, nods. Mine.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
She squats down and starts crying.
Pearson shakes his head in a judging fashion. Not a good start.
Jarek starts chuckling and let's go.
Look. I know
work to do.
I can see you've got a lot on your hands. Just keep in mind, keep a watchful eye over Tan and Mealy, if I were you.
I will see what of my attention I can spare with all of my child rearing and nation managing and resource allocation. Are you sure you don't want me to come along? I'm really useful.
No. Your place is here.
I can kill so many people you wouldn't even believe. I wield necromancy.
Delilah stops crying, looks up to see if Jarek's paying attention, and then cries louder.
Are you sure you are willing to have a weakened Coalhaven without you?
Look, I don't care that much.
The ruler does need your help.
As she's crying. All right, fine. I'd say you're welcome to stay as long as you like, but with the whole demonic invasion of this hill thing, you need to go because Lady Selena's completely powerless without the champions. Capable of doing absolutely nothing, which we've seen firsthand on multiple occasions.
Hey.
And
We as a group completely... We put somebody new in power. We fixed Coalhaven, essentially.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
My greatest confusion is I want to know where the demons are. Are you
That is
sure
a
you
good
want to
question.
leave? Jarek extends a hand, his arms in a shrug, It'd be like a thing to attack while Coalhaven was at its weakest, and one of the champions were isolated from the others, especially since he's the most powerful one. He's pretty sure he can't die. They might try to prove otherwise, right?
Like he's trying to goad them into like
No.
Yeah.
him
Nice
leaving.
try.
Find the book, and if there is some kind of trouble here, we will come back. Okay?
Look, I can write to her the tweet, and she'll like write to you or something, but that'll take days.
You can write straight to us.
I can.
I
Dear-
believe there's multiple books.
Yeah, each book can write to each other book. You write dear, whichever book you're writing to.
I never wrote dear. I thought all those honorifics were things that Celine was using to woo me.
No.
Huh.
She was trying to contact you. If I
wonder-
wished, I could talk to Vamgalir.
I wonder how the book always knew I wanted to speak to her then. That's fascinating.
Actually,
Did it
Jarek would
send it
probably
to
know
everyone?
through his magical experience that Celine sees pretty much what's written in any of the books.
He doesn't have to let the Norms know that.
Hmm.
All right, then. Dry your eyes, Kip. You too, Finn. And BJ, I have no more candy. I'm out. Bye, BJ.
Oh. Just whimpers a bit. Put that down.
Worst day
And
ever.
and there is only one person left crying now.
Down.
Jarek like looks and says,
I'm going to hate not being strong enough to pick her up. Like he'll like lean down, like pick up the girl.
like start walking, and then like go ahead.
I was gonna say, as you start walking away, she stops crying and turns to the group and just waves to them happily.
Jarek's like walking in the direction that he saw Richard Harkin walk away, and like
Muttering, don't think you've escaped me yet, Master Harkin. I'm going to get you still.
I'm gonna get you.
I've superseded your power and talent, and I will mark my words. And you will
Serve
go
me.
king. When I say kneel, damn it, you will.
Oh boy.
Oh, man.
Cole's waving
He
at
is
the
waving as
girl.
And with that, we'll end the session.